Hey, Wolfpack. Welcome to the pack period. Uh, Today, we're going to pretty much just revisit what we talked about last week, and we're going to go into a little bit more depth and really solidify our understanding of it because it's going to be pretty crucial moving forward as we try to become better listeners. So, again, what we learned last week, we've just got this communication cycle here. You may remember each box represents a different step in that process, and then each arrow represents a point where there could be, or oftentimes are, misunderstandings. Okay. So, let's go back into it and we'll break it down into a little bit smaller steps here, okay? So when we're talking about communication, there's two parties involved, right? So there is the speaker, or the person who has some sort of message or something that they want to express to another person. And then on the other side, there is the listener, the person who is receiving the message, okay? So for the speaker, there's two steps for it, right? So it all starts in my head, in my heart, however you want to look at it. Okay. So for the speaker, it starts with, say I have an idea, right? I have an idea about something, or I have a feeling that I want to express, or anything like that. I've got a message I want to communicate. It starts as kind of like a thought or a feeling. Okay. So what I need to do as the speaker is I need to translate that feeling or that idea that I have, and I have to put words to it that try and explain exactly what my thought is, or exactly what my idea is, or exactly what my feeling is. And that can be really challenging. But that's where it starts, right? I have this meaning that I want to get out. It's my idea, or it's my thought, or my feeling, and then I've got to figure out what words they are. Once I figure out what words express that, then I move on to actually speaking it, right? So once the speaker has decided on the words to match what I want to mean, I can communicate those words to another person, and I can say it out loud, right? So to summarize over here, box A starts with a speaker who has an idea or a feeling or a thought that they want to express to somebody. They have to figure out what that is. They have to make up words that try and explain what it is, and then they have to say those words out loud to another person. That's the speaker's half. Then we get over here to the listener, and the listener is responsible for the next half of this communication cycle, right? So it moves us to box C now. Check this out. I got this now. So now we're over here in box C. Okay. So the first step for the listener is to simply hear the words that were said, right? So this is the simplest part of the communication process, but even still, there are challenges, right? And for me to kind of digress here a little bit, most people think that being a good listener means like you say, I hear, I'm a good listener, but that's not what it is, which is why we're going to try and become better listeners. So, anyways, the listener heard words, box C. You just got to hear it, right? Sometimes there are challenges, but for the most part, it's the simplest part of this communication cycle. Okay, now once I hear the words, I've got to go through and figure out like what was the meaning behind it, what was the idea. Sometimes someone will express an idea, and I think I'll get it, but maybe I don't, right? And so I have to kind of interpret what's being said and what the actual intended message was, what the meaning of the speaker was. Okay. So that's the first half, or that's the communication cycle. So just that, how communication works. Somebody has an idea, they make up words to express that idea, and we move over to spoken words. I say what the words are for my idea. Somebody else hears them, and then they interpret what I said and tries to figure out like what did they actually mean by it. Okay. So I'm going to stop, give you guys a chance to, kind of talk about it with your teachers, talk about it with each other, and kind of just process this cycle, right? I'll see you in a minute.